What then? Are we Jews any better off? No, not at all, for we have already charged that all, both Jews and Greeks, are under sin, as it is written. I wanted to start with this because Paul is not here making the case that we are wholly defiled in all parts and faculties of the soul and body. Paul is here making the case that Jews are just as guilty as Gentiles of sin. And one of the issues that we see consistently in Calvinism is that they ignore the Old Testament references from which Paul quotes in order to see what Paul is actually trying to say. And so these are a series of quotes from the Old Testament. So rather than read them here, I'm going to bring out the quotes from the Old Testament to see if they are commenting on whether we are wholly defiled in all parts and faculties of the soul and body. So Psalm 14, the fool says in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they do abominable deeds. There is no one who does good. Okay, no one among those who say there is no God does good. God looks down from heaven on the children of man to see if there are any who understand, who seek after God. They have all turned aside, they have all become corrupt. There is none who does good, not even one. Have they no knowledge? All the evildoers who eat up my people, as they eat bread, and do not call upon the Lord. There they are in great terror, for God is with the generation of the righteous. You would shame the plans of the poor, but God is his refuge. So we're still talking about the fools who say in their heart there is no God. These are people who reject Yahweh. Those are the ones that don't seek after God. So this is not about all of mankind. And quite honestly, there's nothing here about being wholly corrupt either. This is just there are evildoers in the world who deny that God exists. Psalm 5:8, lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your ways straight before me. For there is no truth in their mouth. Their inmost self is destruction. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongue. Make them bear their guilt, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels. Because of the abundance of their transgressions, cast them out, for they have rebelled against you. So this isn't talking about the state of all mankind. This is talking about the enemies of the author, and ostensibly the wicked. One of the forms of psalms that exists is the imprecatory psalm, where the psalmist writes against the wicked people who are opposing Israel. And this is one of those. So this is, again, not a state of what all mankind is about. Psalm 140, deliver me, O Lord, from evil men. Preserve me from violent men. Another imprecatory psalm. Who plan evil things in their heart and stir up wars continually. They make their tongue as sharp as a serpent's, and under their lips is the venom of asps. Guard me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from violent men who have planned to trip up my feet. So here again, we're talking about the wicked, the violent men. This is not a statement about all of mankind, but a statement about these particular individuals. Proverbs 1:14. Throw in your lot among us. We will all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Hold back your foot from their paths, for their feet run to evil. They make haste to shed blood. For in vain a net is spread in the sight of any bird. But these men lie in wait for their own blood. They set an ambush for their own lives. Such are the ways of anyone who is greedy for unjust gain, takes away from the life of its possessors. So again, we talking about all mankind here? No, we're talking about people that do evil things. And they make haste to shed blood, but that's not a statement of all mankind. Psalm 36, transgression speaks to the wicked deep in his heart, for there is no fear of God before his eyes. Again, the wicked. For he flatters himself in his own eyes, that his iniquity cannot be found out and hated. The words of his mouth are trouble and deceit. He has ceased to act wisely and do good. He plots trouble while on his bed, and sets himself in a way that is not good. He does not reject evil. So again, we're not talking about the state of all mankind. We're talking about what wicked people do. We come back here, and when we read these again in light of the Psalms and other contexts where they come from, none of these are making commentary about all of mankind. We're talking about those who say there is no God. We're talking about evil people. We're talking about violent people. We're talking about people that are trying to swindle or otherwise ambush others. Again, Paul is not trying to make this case either about being defiled in their faculties of soul and body. So none of these things support the claim about being wholly defiled. Again, this is just poor exegesis. I have no other way to explain it.